lot of talk and some action at the state capitol today when it comes to critical race theory. A Republican-controlled committee spent about 45 minutes debating a bill that would effectively ban teaching it in K through 12 schools. But a much longer hearing with no votes taken provided even more debate. Tahlil Mohideen watched what all unfolded, and she joins us now with what went on. Tahlil?
Today's hearing, nearly 3.5 hours, didn't lead to a vote, but rather provided the people who eventually will with a number of perspectives. At question will be whether to block colleges and universities from teaching critical race theory, a term few people knew about until this past year. Wisconsin lawmakers today listened to testimony from experts debating the place of critical race theory, which explores issues around systemic racism and implicit bias in higher education. Critics of the theory argued that teaching CRT, even at the university level, has trickle-down effects because they fear those students could then become teachers in Wisconsin schools.
What you see also in many programs at higher education and K through 12 is this idea of principle of collective guilt, where if you share the same ancestry as someone who committed a historical crime or injustice, you should inherently feel a sense of guilt, shame, or responsibility.
They also argued that universities teaching CRT have emboldened teachers to become agents of social change instead of educators.
How do we kind of reset the default moral clock of school leaders to the point where, instructing kids to think about their white privilege would be as morally unthinkable as instructing black kids to think about some undesirable quality that they have.
UW system representatives who were also at the hearing, however, argued classes that explore the theory are only held at the graduate level, if at all.
I think part of my job is not to shy away from topics that my students will disagree with, or disagree with me about, that will be kind of divisive amongst them.
A UW Platteville professor added the debate should really be about how race and racism is taught in our schools, not one theory.
Individuals create this narrative of trying to say that my identity as an American, we're getting rid of our traditions and our values are being attacked, and I think that winds up becoming the main focus of any type of controversy when we talk about systemic racism in our society.
The theory essentially puts forth the idea that structures like financial, medical, and housing institutions are inherently racist and that racism is not based on a person's own beliefs or actions. Educators who spoke against the Republican push worry less about critical race theory and more about the bill blocking their overall ability to teach tough topics.